Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. And Jason, we are in for something truly special here in week number 8.
Week number 8 is going to deliver us an opportunity to see one of these two teams come out victorious and stake their claim for the SVL crown.
I am so excited to see what's going on. You are going to have a battle of, by far, almost 1,000 yards extra offensive rushing for Western over the next place, and that is Mount Pleasant. But then you've got Mount Pleasant, who's got that very, very stingy number 1 rated defense against the run. So something's got to give tonight.
You know, it's going to be a battle of wills. And, you know, talking to Coach Willits in the preseason preview, you know, he was pretty adamant about how special he thought and how strong he thought his team was going to be. And so far they haven't disappointed. And a lot of that gets attested to, he kept the freshmen together when they were freshmen, the group that's the seniors now. He kept them as freshmen, kept them on the JV. They were 8-1 as freshmen, 9-0 as JV. Last year as juniors were 4-4 in the COVID shortened season. Got some taste of varsity success, and he really felt by doing that they were creating that culture that he wants and allowing him to really establish that philosophy. So Western being here at 6-1 is not a surprise to anyone in the locker room that Coach Willits has.
Well, and when you look at the program, Jason, you are looking at the first true group that he got his hands on intact with this program. So I don't know 4 years ago if he really knew how special this team could be, but as the 4 years have gone on and grown, he tells you without question that great leadership on this team from the players has really added to the success.
The expectations that he has put on these kids are attainable in his eyes, and because he believes it so strongly, it boils over to those players.
Well, let's look at some numbers. Mount Pleasant 3-0 in the Valley, 7-0 overall. They've scored 255 points this year, allowed 88, which is about 12.5 a game. So defensively, they're very stingy. They've run for 1,458 yards, passed for 897 for a total of 2,355 yards. So over 7 games, they're cranking it out at over 300 yards a game.
You know, I look at their offense and I look back at their defense, and you just said they give up only 88 points all season. And Western, on the other hand, is averaging 51 points a game. So you talk about, there's going to be several things about the burst here.
Well, in McIntyre, you know, the thing, he's 54 of 73, but 74% thrown for 809 yards, 10 TDs, and only 3 interceptions. So he's efficient, but the rushing attack with Humphrey and Davis, they have accumulated about 1,000 yards combined, but they have accumulated 20 touchdowns. And they are truly a 1-2 punch.
You know, McIntyre has also rushed for 3 touchdowns. He's still a threat on the ground. You know, he doesn't necessarily putting up the gaudy numbers that the O'Hara kid from Western is putting up. But you add that passing element, you add that running element, and it makes the Mount Pleasant offense go. He has weapons on the outside. He has weapons in the backfield. So they have a multitude of options that they can go to, and he has been able to spread the ball around. His receivers have a couple of touchdowns. There's a couple of receivers with 6 catches, and 3 of them were touchdowns. So he knows how to get the ball to the guys in the right spot so that they can do what they do best.
For Western, 2-1 and 6-1, the one blemish on the record might have been the best thing that happened to this team all year long.
You know, as a coach, you know, I look back and you want to think, man, if you're going to lose a game, you know, do it early, try and get it done, but learn. Make it a game that you can learn something from. And I just think talking with Coach Willits after that game and seeing how his players were able to rebound. You know, when you don't have that program of success, bouncing back from a loss is a lot more challenging than what it would be from a team that wins. When Alabama's going to bounce back, all right, Michigan's going to bounce back. But high school kids are fragile. They don't know. Maybe we're not going to be as good as we thought we were. You know, we gave up 29 points in the fourth quarter. All those things can play into it. But you want to know what? They rebounded well, came back, took out a very good middle and high team, and I think it really got that tone set that they're not the old Western Warrior football team.
They are for real. Offensively, 2,937 yards rushing, 409 passing.
7 games.
33-46 total.
Wow.
It's crazy. Now, defensively, against the rush, 664. Against the pass, 951. So if Mount Pleasant has an opportunity to pass the football, which I think weather will keep from happening, that might be their chance, but in the last 2 or 3 games, the defensive backfield from Western has really excelled.
They have, and it's going to be a great challenge for them because McIntyre is one of the top quarterbacks here in the Saginaw Valley League, and one of the best quarterbacks that they'll see even if through the playoff opportunity.
Logan O'Hare, 104 rushes for 1,032 yards, 9.9 yards per carry with 14 touchdowns and 118 total points scored on the year. And Joe Wiedike, 102 carries for 1,020 yards, 9.5 yards a carry with 15 touchdowns and 110 points scored. We talked a couple of weeks ago about the opportunity to have 2,000-yard rushers on the same team. It has never happened to our knowledge in the history of Bay County.
And to do it within 7 games, and they're doing it against quality competition. I mean, we're still playing in the Saginaw Valley League, which is still one of the premier leagues in the state of Michigan. So to do that week in and week out, you almost expect them to have a down week.
40.2 yards per catch for Randall. He's only caught 6 balls for 241 yards, but he also on that counter action is going to be something special because you start peeking in the backfield and he's either going to catch a big pass or on a counter action he's going to run wild.
Your favorite acronym, YAC. He's a kid that can do a lot of different things, and he does a lot of it after another strong kid. I mean, Western is blessed with a lot of strong kids. But let's face it, they built themselves up in the weight room. No matter what position they are, they built themselves up in the weight room. It's happening at the high school level all the way down to the middle school level. Coach Willits really has this thing going in the direction that he feels where he wants it to be, where he's expected to be, and what his expectations are.
It's Western. It's Mount Pleasant. They're playing for a Valley Championship tonight in Week 8. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. The best is yet to come as that concludes our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action and excitement in just a moment on Bay County TV.
When you want to show someone you care, you go above and beyond. It's the little things that make someone feel extra special. The extra time, the extra effort, the extra attention to detail. It can have an extraordinary effect on people.
I'll never let you down. I need you now.
So when you care this much about your family, from the youngest to the oldest, you send them to the place that specializes in extraordinary care. Covenant Healthcare. We make families feel extra safe with a leading team of experts in the Great Lakes Bay region. We take the extra steps to deliver the most advanced technologies and training. We go the extra mile as you journey from diagnosis to recovery. We give families extra hope. Why do more people trust their families to Covenant Healthcare? Because we've proven ourselves over time, across generations, and treat your family like you do, with extraordinary care. So you can continue to do so for generations to come.
Good evening and welcome to the cornfield as Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham look up. As we look into the light, Jason, we see the rain coming down, and that could be a factor in our football game tonight.
I held it off for 1 week. I couldn't do it a second week in a row. However,
so you used it all up in 1 week?
I did, but Coach Willett said, let it rain. I just do what the coach says, just like his players do.
Western won the toss, and they have elected to defer their decision until the second half, and it should make for a whole lot of fun. Ready to kick off here as the Western Warriors address the football. A high, deep end-over-end kick, and that's going to go all the way back as Scooter Polk is going to try and pick this up, and he only gets back to about the 13-yard line, where the Western Warriors really out-kicked the return of the Mount Pleasant Oilers. Kind of looked like caught them off guard, Jason.
A little bit. I was thinking they were figuring with the weather, maybe squib it or just kind of pooch it a little bit. But I tell you, notice one thing about the rain, though, Jeff. It's coming straight down. There's not a lot of wind right now. I think that's a big difference for when the Warriors predicted or wanted to go to the direction they're going. There wasn't really a main advantage yet. And I don't know if we're going to get any gusts coming in later on, but definitely a straight down rain.
It's all about KFC, kick from clock, because you want the clock in your face in the second quarter as time winds down in the half. And it's a great strategy that is employed by most that choose to kick off. And we're going to have a penalty. It's a false start on Scooter. Scooter Polk was trying to scoot ahead of time, doing the boot scoot and boogie.
He's definitely think what he's a Canadian Football League. Get a little running start.
If he thought he was playing north of the border, he could have tried that. But boy, that's a tough way to start the ball game out, Jason. The first play of the game, and you're now 1st and 15.
Yeah, Western's defense going to be pinning their ears back right now. I know they want to go after McIntyre and kind of set the tone up there in the trenches. So let's see what they bring here on the first down.
Well, definitely Humphrey and Davis, 10 and 20, are going to be heard from. Trying to go right up the middle, and there is a modest gain, maybe back to close to the original line of scrimmage. As Humphrey just moved the pile a little bit, and it is going to be second down in a long 9-yard to go situation. So picking up 5+ as the Western defensive line had them hit about 2 yards closer to the goal line, Jason, but they just couldn't get their footing.
No, I think the one thing that you're going to notice too about as we see another
little early game jitters, Coach?
I think the adrenaline, I think it's going to take a little while to, both teams are stoked about this, 7-0, 6-1, playing for a chance to win the championship or at least win a piece of the championship. So, it's like a rivalry game with the intensity that it's bringing.
It will be fun, because I got to believe if there's a tie for the championship, wouldn't there be a tiebreaker? Trying to take that ball to the outside, rushing for the first down and more is McIntyre on the keeper. He cut that corner, and the Western defense did not anticipate his speed. They're going to call him just shy. Nope, they're going to give him the first down, as it looked like they ruled him out of bounds, but it'll be enough to move the sticks, and a 1st and 10 for the Mount Pleasant Oilers with the first down of the game.
McIntyre has 60 rushes on the year for 300 yards, just around a 5-yard average, as another penalty flag hits.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. So third time, you've got 3 5-yard penalties against Mount Pleasant.
I'm just wondering if it's just not getting their signals crossed up down there a little early right now, but it didn't affect them. McIntyre runs for the first down. Let's see if he can do something here on 1st and 15 for the Oilers.
Boy, you just hate putting your offense into that situation this early in the game 3 times. McIntyre back out of the gun. He looks over the Western defense. They're pretty much going to give you a standardized look, but they'll come from all different angles. Handoff on the play, and I believe Humphreys is that ball carrier.
The Warrior defense stacked them up pretty good, and again, it's not the first person who may get the tackle, but as long as they can slow them down, stand them up a little bit, and let your teammates come and do what they do best.
So Davis is the ball carrier.
He was brought down by the Cynic brothers.
And the Cynic brothers in on the tackle, but boy, again, those Western numbers are going to be hard as the night goes on to see. McIntyre trying to come around the outside too, gets a little bit of a seam, and great open field tackle by the Western Warriors to keep him from getting a big gain.
Quarterback keeper.
McIntyre, he's known for his arm. I just mentioned that he's rushed the ball 60 times in the 7 games so far. He's got a couple touchdowns to his resume as well from the running as a quarterback. But the thing is how much is he going to be able to put the ball up right now? Right now, the way the rain is coming down, how much is he going to be able to put the ball up? So this is what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and win that battle. They got a senior-laden front 4 for the Warriors, and they got a pretty senior strong front 5 for the Oilers.
As they show just a little bit different look, trying to come on a little counter action. And that ball carried this time by number 10, Max Humphrey, and he is not going to get the first down as he stopped about 4 yards short of that first down marker. Again, flowing to the football very well are the Western Warriors. And Cole Melnick with one of the original hits defensively. 4th and 4. And going back will be Mr. Randall to try and return this kick. Western putting modest pressure on. Randall's going to look up into the rain. Finally gets it at his own 33. Comes forward, making 2, miss. He's got a little wall. He's up at the 45, down to the 48-yard line before he's finally brought down, making one person miss. What great starting field position for the Western Warriors on their first offensive drive.
You know, we've done a couple of games over the last couple of weeks, and we've always been in that, are they going to punt? Are they going to try and make it on 4th down? You know, the weather right now is going to dictate a little bit of that with field position, trying to establish that. But, you know, you got a good punter from Mount Pleasant. Randall had a great return, made a couple guys miss, and now all of a sudden Western's at near midfield and ready for their first offensive run. Well,
going to be interesting to see what that offense can do against the defense. O'Hare going up the middle, finds the going tough, picks up about 3 yards on the play before he's met defensively by, amongst others, number 10 on the play, Max Humphrey.
You can see Max Humphrey, Davis, and Henry, 3 linebackers for Mount Pleasant. They really make that defense go, and they're one of the main reasons they are so stout in that defensive stop.
Gain of just a couple of yards on the play, 2nd down and 8 yards to go. As the Western Warriors look at their wristband for play number 2 of the game. And O'Hare says, I'm just going to drop down on this ball as the high snap. And again, he said, you know, we need another ball.
Just was about to mention, you know, one of the things that we're going to have to watch, not just while the rain's coming down, but as that field stays wet, the ball starts staying wet, is going to be that center to quarterback exchange, the snap, especially with both teams running out of the shotgun formation. It takes a little bit more and a little bit more focus, and every time it has to be spot on, or else you're going to be from 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6 to now 3rd and 17.
Well, and as an offensive line for Western, you know you're lining up against a very quick pair of tackles and very solid defensive ends. So, you know, it's imperative that you get that snap first. There's Randall on the little counter action play trying to get to the outside, makes a couple of people miss, but he is going to be shut down at the 44-yard line. So Coach Willard shows that counter play early, which is very familiar to the Mount Pleasant team, but Mount Pleasant gets a 3 and out, but boy, really Western gets put way behind the sticks with that errant snap from center.
It doesn't take much. You know, it's a game like this, you're looking at penalties, you're looking at turnovers, and you're looking at general miscues, things that put your offense out of position, things that you do defensively that give the other team's offense an opportunity. So it's really going to be who's going to take the best advantage of the situations when they have them.
Legal lineup for the Western Warriors as there's a high exchange and getting that kick off and sailing it back. Scooter picks it up, makes the first couple of people miss, spins away and gets knocked down at the 32-yard line. You know, anytime you got some guy named Scooter Polk, you know he's got the capability of taking that thing for a long return.
Yeah, you don't get a nickname like Scooter by being, you know, like us. We've never been confused with a Scooter.
Never been, never will. Well, for the second offensive possession of the game, here come the Mount Pleasant Oilers. We are nearing the halfway point of our first quarter. No score yet with 6:41 left in our first quarter of play.
See if they're going to do anything different. They haven't put it up in the air the first go around. Let's see if they're going to keep it on the ground.
Single high safety, and we're going to have another situation where it looks like we're going to have another false start on the offense.
So the 4 false starts, fortunately so far for Mount Pleasant, we're talking about penalties and we're talking about limiting miscues. Haven't hurt them yet, you know. But you don't want to do that against a team like Bay City Western, a team that may start taking advantage of that, start putting a couple of points on the board, a couple of scores on the board, and all of a sudden these penalties will start affecting your offensive calls.
Well, the weather tonight's going to dictate. It doesn't look like Western's going to be getting more than a 4 40, and then the offensive line is coming on a counter tray, and they jump the snap count.
Penalty flag.
We've got 5 5-yard penalties, Jason, and we haven't even played halfway through the first quarter yet.
No, and then, again, when you're Coach McIntyre,
20.
you're sitting back trying to figure out, okay, guys, the first couple may be excused, a little nervous, a little jittery, but now we got our first possession out of the way. We got our first defensive possession out of the way. We got to start dialing in that discipline.
Well, and you're talking about a 3-0 in conference and 7-0 team. This isn't just a bunch of players that they threw together. Throw out to McIntyre, has got that completion on the side to number 7, as that is Wyatt Urban, and he picks up about 10 yards on the play, maybe 12. They'll have him out to about the 34-yard line, so it's going to be second down and about 9 yards to go as they pick up 11. And I'll tell you, great pass and a great catch that time by Irvin. He's a big drink of water.
He's going to be easy to recognize moving forward. I can tell you why. He caked in mud right now after that tackle by Owen Fossum.
Good to see Mark Nierenberg out here from Heidi's Darn Good Cookies, and his presence is enough, but then he brings us a treat. Look at the pursuit of the Western team as they try and shut down Scooter Polk as he turns the corner and picks up a modest gain of about 3 on the play. That's going to bring up a third down and about 5-yard to go situation. So Western has done a nice job of bending, but don't break.
Scooter's got 6 rushes before that one right there, 115 yards. So, he's almost at a 20 yard per carry average there. So, he's the type of guy that if they get the ball to him, they're expecting him to get something and make something happen. Western definitely inside.
And they got another false start.
Penalty flag on the play.
It's so hard, Jason, for a team to overcome 6 false starts in the first 6+ minutes of the first quarter. I don't know that I've ever seen a team of this quality have this many miscues offensively in a half a quarter.
Well, again, it hasn't hurt them yet. They're getting away with it right now, but it did take a 3rd and 5 option. Now it's 3rd and 10. Changes your play call a little bit, too.
Probably a passing situation. McIntyre rolling to the wide side of the field. Airmails a ball that was supposed to go to Scooter Polk, and that ball sailed over his head. And huge difference, Jason, in that play call on 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, you're almost forced to pass the football, and you've got to worry about a quarterback. If you roll to that wide side of the field, you still need your plant foot, and I really think he got mushy feet there, and he really didn't plant it, and it just sailed on him.
Yeah, he definitely has a nice arm as he's rolling out. Probably would like that pass back, but I tell you what, Brandon Buck for Western was in great position to make that play even if it was caught.
That one goes off the side of the foot, and that's going to roll out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. And that will give Western some pretty good starting field position as well, as they'll get their second offensive opportunity with 5:35 left in our first quarter of play. And, haven't seen a whole lot, Jason, thus far that surprises us, but Mount Pleasant's first defensive series really made a statement against the Western run. See what kind of adjustments the Western line can make.
I think the one thing that they were going to talk about on the sideline more than anything was let's focus on that exchange. Let's focus on that exchange. Let's start going north and south.
Wiedike is the ball carrier, and he bangs forward for about 2 yards on the play as the defensive linebackers again roll to the football in the form of Henry, number 42.
Number 80, Ben Fisher.
And they also are going to say Big Ben Fisher there, but I'm really trying to watch these 3 linebackers from Mount Pleasant and see how they flow to the football, as that's as special a group as there is in the Saginaw Valley League as a trio of linebackers.
Well, a couple of weeks ago on one of their broadcast partner told us that they were all voted player of the game. That's how well they played. So they definitely are bringing a cohesive unit to that linebacker unit for the Oilers.
So 3 yards gain on 2 plays right now for Western on that second drive. Will bring up a 3rd down and 7-yard to go situation for Western, and the rain just continues to be steady. I wouldn't say it's super hard, but it's certainly not a sprinkle.
No, and it's definitely going to start continually playing. Your uniforms are wet, the balls are wet, the field is getting a little bit muddy. We're starting to see a little bit of the turnover from the green into the brown.
And we don't think that there's going to be any let up in the rain either, so O'Hare trying to cut to the outside, comes back across the green and really had trouble planting his foot to cut north and south. And a gain on the play of only about another yard. That'll bring up a 4th down and 6-yard to go situation as 2 3 and outs early on for this Western offense.
What Coach Willett's going to look at is what's going on. And, he's going to make the right adjustments. It may not happen until halftime, but, him and the staff are out communicating right now. What are they seeing upstairs? What do they need to look at doing? What can they do to really start getting their presence felt in that run game?
And it's field position right now, too. I mean, you have got an opportunity where you have a good punt and you flip the field as there's a nice high kick. And Scooter's going to take that thing and come right up the middle. And, boy, he makes a couple of people miss, and he's up almost to the 49-yard line before he's brought down. And he really did a nice job as the Western defense could not get to the middle of the field quick enough. And this will be a great starting field position on the 3rd offensive series for the Mount Pleasant Oilers.
I think Coach Willits will look at that and maybe start thinking punting away from where Scooter's lining up, just to try to make him and get your pressure, get your presence felt a little bit more on your special teams defensive unit there.
Well, and when you make him run laterally to get the ball, he doesn't get it with a full head of steam being able to run forward. So McIntyre just about lost that ball, and he's hitting the backfield before the running back even gets back to the line of scrimmage. It was a vicious hit by the Western defense.
I think Ryan McIntyre is going to say, Coach, Dad, listen to me. I'm going to do shotgun. That didn't work out. That didn't work out too well for him under center that time. That Western defense keyed right there on the running play.
Boy, absolutely crushing for Rajewski as he came through and just shut that play down. He beat his offensive lineman clean, and as soon as that ball was touched in the backfield by Humphrey, he was tattooed, trying to go up the middle again and maybe getting back to the original line of scrimmage, the ball carrier on the play, and I believe that's number 20, Corey Davis. We'll wait and see.
Number 42.
42 gets the carry. Jess Henry gets his first carry of the ball game.
Well, they got to mix it around. They've got a lot of athletes over there, and interesting to give it to the up man on that, but they do got it down to a 3rd and 9 with just under 2:20 left here in the first quarter.
And they bring Corey Davis off the field on this 3rd down and 9 play. So let's see as they go to twins to the near side and a single to the far side of the field. Now they're going to take this thing, and Scooter's going to go out of the Wildcat. Scooter's looking to throw that post pattern, and the pass is incomplete and just missed a receiver that had a step on the defense. So that's going to bring up another 4th down situation and the 3rd straight possession of the Mount Pleasant Oilers, where it ends up with a punt.
Well, that pass right there, I think, needed a little bit of touch. I thought Humphreys got himself in position to possibly make a play, but I think Scooter got a little excited back there. He got his nice throw, plant foot down. He gunned it. It just was one of those passes that need a little more feather.
And this one is going to bounce and probably roll down to the 2-yard line. What a great kick. And it covers 49 yards. Do we have a penalty flag down on the play?
Is down.
I heard whistles, but I do not see a penalty flag.
Pleasant downs that kick at the Warrior 2.
Always interesting to see if you're at the 2-yard line. Half a distance isn't too bad of a penalty.
Well,
I thought
they're talking something, but I am looking for a flag, and I do not see. I would certainly hope that fairly soon we might get an indication of what's going on here.
Well, they're bringing the ball back somewhere. A little 15-yard runoff.
So they're going to have a dead ball penalty against the Mount Pleasant Oilers.
There was a penalty flag on the play.
Personal foul against Mount Pleasant. Boy, that's a gift for that Western offense, Jason, because starting with your quarterback and running back in the end zone, that gives you zero room for error.
No, it does, but I didn't see what had happened. I'm going to have to watch that one again, but I tell you, again, Mount Pleasant, these miscues, they're not killing them yet, but that one right there is on the defensive side of it, giving Western's offense an opportunity.
So here's the quarterback keeper trying to cut around the corner, and great pursuit on a modest gain of a couple of yards on the play, as the Western Warriors will be second down in a long 8-yard-to-go situation, as we're down to a minute and a half left in our first quarter. But safe to say the run defense early on for Mount Pleasant is as advertised.
They are, and I think one of the things Coach Willits is going to have to look at is front four or front five guys and say, are we going to be able to wear them down? Are we going to be able to start pushing them back, getting ourselves 2 and 3 4-yard gains versus these 1 and 2 at the time? It's a challenge. He's going to challenge his guys.
Well, 5'7", 170 is the nose guard. So these are just small, quick guys that get in the way and make some running lanes really tough to get to. O'Hare on the keeper is going to pick up maybe 2 yards on the play, and it'll be third down and about 5 yards to go. So starting to carve out a little bit more offense on each of those runs. But when you get 2 yards of play, the simple math says fourth down is a punt. So we'll find out what Western's going to attempt to do here on this third down and 6 yard to go situation.
Fifth down only works when you're playing against Missouri and you're Colorado and you win a national championship.
Here he goes. O'Hare is back, and he gets to the corner. He's got the corner. He's at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, down at the 14-yard line as he gets around the corner. Touchdown, saving tackle by those Mount Pleasant Oilers, and they were running for their life to catch Logan O'Hare.
O'Hare said, that reminded me of a play in the old backyard ball game where you're like, everyone's been running one way, I'm just going to go the other way, and no one had expected it from Mount Pleasant. He gets to the corner, and
well, he got a great seal block on the corner to allow him to turn the corner, and he showed everybody what his team speed was all about, as they will send over number 25, Granson, to the sidelines, so O'Hare doesn't have to come over and try and pick it up. And we're going to be at the end of our first quarter of play, and we have got no score between the Western Warriors and the Mount Pleasant Oilers at the cornfield. Back in a moment with our second quarter of action on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you, and O'Hare gets this Western crowd excited as he flipped the field with a big run on 3rd and 6.
62 yards, I think, is what Coach Willis called that play.
He wanted it to be 75, so now they got O'Hare trying to turn around the corner again. Makes the first person miss, gets a great lead block and a gain on the play of about 7 to 8 yards as he makes the first person miss and got a great block downfield for that gain of about 8 yards on the play. Trying to find a defender. I think that was Davis on defense that finally made the stop. So officially they give him 7. Second down and 3 now as they're sniffing the goal line.
They are, and I thought he did a really nice job of getting that plant foot down and to make that last cut to try and get himself a couple of extra yards.
And you're in a spot on the field, too, where the ground is pretty forgiving. Trying to turn around the corner. 10, 5, 4, 3, down to about the 3-yard line. Gonna have the first down, but unable to get into the end zone is Logan O'Hare. And I think that the folks upstairs for Western up in the booth have really figured out that between the tackles, they're tried so hard to shut Wiedike down that O'Hare is able to get around the corner with some speed.
Well, we talked about it on that third possession when it started, even before it got off that 62-yard run, that they're talking, they're communicating. They want to see what they can expose, where the weaknesses in that defense. And I can tell you right now, running straight up the middle is not the weakness for the Mount Pleasant defense.
It will be, though, if they have enough success from O'Hare getting to the outside. They'll have to flare out another step, and that may allow some running lanes for Wiedike. O'Hare takes it again, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. He's able to fall forward to maybe the 2-yard line. So simple math on the abacus says a yard a carry puts you in the end zone before 4th down.
I hate when you start bringing out math.
It's the abacus, though. It's withstood the test of time.
It has. That it has.
Second goal from the 3.
2nd and goal just inside the 3-yard line, and O'Hare has just really been a great runner here. Now, you almost have to look, where is Randall right now? Because even though the defense is pinched up, counter-action play is never out of the question.
No, and I was thinking coming back with O'Hara one more time.
O'Hare is sniffing the goal line, following Wiedike. Is he into the end zone? Yes, he is. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
That's why I'm a great broadcaster. I let the play happen, and then I announce it.
But it's great because they put Wiedike in motion. He cut back across the game, became the lead blocker for O'Hare as he gets into the end zone with 9:51 left in our first half of play. And the first points of the game were stingy and hard to come by.
Now it took that 162-yard run. I'm going to keep pounding on it because that right there may have been exactly what the Western offense needed, not just in this possession, but future possessions, knowing where they want to start working and where they want to start exposing.
On the attempt for 2 points. Again, they are going to potentially try the same thing. No, they're going to try a little flip pass to the outside and all by himself in the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good for Randall. Time out of the field with 9:51 left in the first half. Western 8, Mount Pleasant nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Nick Page is producing and directing along with Jared Doan tonight on the camera as we are having a great time. The cheerleaders are all bundled up, and they finally had something, Jason, to get excited about.
Well, I'm not sure they're excited about doing the push-ups, but they might not feel like it tomorrow, but right now they want like about 48 more of those.
Well, they're conditioned to do 50s because they've averaged about 50 a game. So,
amen.
As the kickoff is coming here for the Western Warriors, there's another deep kickoff, and that's going to roll all the way into the end zone. And Scooter is not going to have an opportunity to run another one back. Other weeks, though, Western has really varied their kickoffs, most of them shorter, trying to limit returns. So I really think that Mount Pleasant has seen the film and decided to move up. Scooter had no opportunity on that second return as well.
Now, each week we talk about how important it is to have a kicker that can do multiple things and really pin a team where you want them. They're not wanting to kick it to the 30 because those guys on the Mount Pleasant side that are going to grab that ball have ability, athleticism, and now all of a sudden you're at the 42, 43. This way you're sitting at the 20. You know, field position. And in a type of game like this, Coach Willis will take field position all day long.
And if you have got a kicker that can make that happen, has a great run up to the 31-yard line for the running back, and that is number 20 on the play, Davis. He picks up 11. But I say, Jason, if you've got a kicker that can put the ball in the end zone every time, you don't alter that in the least, in my opinion. You just crank it there and make them start every drive at the 20. That's pretty safe.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Mount Pleasant.
You have a little ball switch out here right now. Mount Pleasant wants the dry ball for this play.
So
I like that. You know, that was just a traditional pitch right there. Just let the running back get him a lead blocker and let him do what he does best. And Corey getting that head of steam going down really had an opportunity.
And a great lead block, too. He read that block, and as the block pushed out, he went inside. So McIntyre, he's up under center now. High backfield formation. Trying to take that ball on the left side and maybe a yard or two at the most as the Western defense just comes to the football. John Irvine was amongst the first to hit. It will be a modest gain of a couple of yards, 2nd down and 8. So Western's defense has been pretty stingy, but this is the spot in the field really from the 30 to the 30, Jason, from the hash to the hash that's going to get really chewed up in this game.
Well, we just talked about it a minute ago. You're starting to see the green grass, beautiful green grass before the game started to once the rain started, you're starting to see it turn brown.
Boy, McIntyre almost didn't look for that ball coming, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards and get out near the 35-yard line, but he looked away and that ball was coming back, and it looked like he just looked in time to get that. Otherwise, that could have sailed right by him. So pretty athletic play by McIntyre to keep from getting a 10, 12-yard loss.
You know, something we talked about, too, before the game, we noticed at midfield it's a smaller W. Just wondering if that was by design because of the rain, because of the paint, just to try to help keep a little bit more of that area not as slick when their players are coming through, especially when you're a running team. You want that grass to be.
Well, you're trying to think like a head coach and like a grounds crew now. So McIntyre tries to move forward, and he is stuffed at the line of scrimmage by the defensive interior line of the Western Warriors, flexing their muscles, and look who comes up out of the bottom of that stack. It looks Sianek.
Well, you know, last time I seen Sinek brothers, you know, the Rex Steiner brothers were out here, you know, so maybe they don't know yet, but they have a future in, I'm sure, the wrestling game if they can keep doing what they're doing. Well, but the Sinek brothers are making havoc for that front five for Mount Pleasant so far.
Starting to show their physicality, and that is very interesting. There's a low kick, and that is going to come down, and that's going to give Randall a chance to pull forward, and he's going to be able to pick up about 15 yards on the return as he brings that out to the 41-yard line. So a little bit of a risky move by Randall. You got to hope you get a good hop when that thing comes in front of you, but he's able to alter the field position by at least 15 yards on that return. Spot that ball down at the 41-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Jason, fresh off their last possession score.
I thought Randall did a nice job, almost like a shortstop there, kind of waiting, playing the bounce, playing the hop just right. And he got himself a nice area of green grass that's still green right now to run before he got up to the 41.
Let's see if Wiedike gets an opportunity here early on this series. O'Hare tries to cut back across the grain, maybe picked up a yard on the play as the defense really swarmed to the football in a hurry on him. And again, numbers are really going to be tough to find on this field the rest of the game, but it looked like the number 42, Jesse Henry, again, one of the active linebackers, first to hit O'Hare.
I think, again, thinking like a coach, O'Hare's ran the ball minus the 2-point conversion where he tossed it in there, I think the last 7 plays. You know, Wiedike's been going in motion. They're trying to get a read, trying to see how the defense is playing them. Mount Pleasant thinks they can just play you straight up. I mean, they got great linebacking core, but I tell you, the one thing that they're going to have to do, if Wiedike can get going, and now you have a two-headed threat back there, it changes the ball game. It changes everything.
Well, now they're going to come back and attempt to throw the football, and they're going downfield with that thing and overthrows Randall, who was 3 steps behind the defender, and O'Hare wants that one back. If he puts a little touch on that ball, Jason, that's 6 points.
It was, and had a nice footing there too with his plant foot, got it set, got the ball up, but you know, it's one of those. Again, we're talking about what you're doing on offense. What you got to keep that defense guessing. You got to keep them stretched. And now all of a sudden, if you have a deep threat, if you have Randall getting past Polk next time, all it's going to do is make that second part of the defense start going back a little bit further. It's going to start opening up some gaps. They hope maybe they connect.
And that, 40.2 yards a catch is what Randall's done on the year. So we'll find out now what 3rd and 9 brings for the Western Warriors. As trying to come to this near side of the field, and Randall, if he gets away from number 10 on the play, Humphrey, he's got a lead blocker out in front of him, and I think he had 6 points, Jason.
It's nice when your quarterback not only hands it off, but it puts himself out there. I mean, Logan O'Hara isn't your typical quarterback. He's 5'10", 185, and he's strong. He's a strong kid.
Well, and like I said, if Randall gets by Humphrey, he's got a lot of green and brown out on the field going towards the goal line. But you got to credit Humphrey for making a great tackle and the loss on the play of about 5 yards.
Too many times we see linebackers, that's where Humphrey is playing on the outside. They get sucked in too much, and all of a sudden they're out of position. That one was perfectly played, well contained.
And that ball takes a nice Western roll down to the 24-yard line. And with 5:12 and counting left in our first half, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mount Pleasant Oilers. As flipping the field again, the Western Warriors with their punt game. And we'll see now what the Mount Pleasant Oilers can do on offense, as the Western defense has been more than equal to the call thus far.
Yeah, I think we talked a lot about how Mount Pleasant's defense was stingy and one of the tops in the valley, if not one of the tops in the state number-wise. But Western isn't slouch. They're not a slouch. They're playing well, but I think there's a little bit almost of disrespect, almost like bulletin board material, when you hear about how great one defense is over the other.
Trying to cut to the outside, back across a great nice gain of about 7 yards on the play. And they're finding a little bit of success out there as Humphrey gets that carry. And, you know, Jason, he's patient. He sits out there and he waits to read his blocks. He gets that cut and tries to push forward. And again, he picked up 10 the last time he did it on first down and picks up 7 here.
Move from the shotgun back to under center is McIntyre. Looks back over to sideline to get the play.
Letting his up back and his tailback in the I formation. Hand off to the fullback, and nobody for Western fooled on that play as Sinek and company slammed the door shut.
It's great. I tell you, you know what? We missed this last year. High school football, championships on the line, crowds, players really feeding off of the excitement that the crowd's bringing to the game. They're showing excitement. They know what this means. This is great. Kids out there flexing their muscles, hard hitting. We've seen several hard hits here in the first half.
It has been a treat to watch, and we're going to have man coverage here as trying to cut to the outside with a nice run into the backfield. The 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back judge hits the ground as the Mount Pleasant Oilers score a touchdown.
Well, that was impressive. I tell you, that was impressive. I'm talking about the referee doing push-ups.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that was great about that carry by number 20 on the play, Davis, is he made the first person miss and he hurdled the second person, never lost his stride. And a Western defensive player had an angle on him and could not catch him. And now you see that Mount Pleasant looks like they're going to try and answer the Western two-point conversion with one of their own.
It was a great run. I thought the one thing that was big was the fact that he didn't show any sign about that field. He was able to run through. He planted. He was able to go.
Trying to slide that thing, and the ball is picked off. And the conversion is no good. Time out of the field with 3:50 left in our first half. Western still maintains an 8-6 lead. Back in a moment here on Bay County TV.
For 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you. Nick Page down there with Jared Doan, producing, directing, camera work. They're doing it all down there. We're just having a great time as the Mount Pleasant Oilers, with an answer to the Western score, will be kicking off. And let's see if the Western Warriors can get a good return and start with some pretty fair field position. That ball is going to be picked up. Banging forward to the 25, the 30, out to the 35-yard line. Ball's down on the ground, and it may be the Mount Pleasant Oilers with their hands on the ball. They think so, but not seeing any indication yet from the officials. Western, nope, they're going to give it to the Mount Pleasant Oilers.
Indication the fumble was recovered by Mount Pleasant.
First break of the game right there for Mount Pleasant, and the first bad miscue for the Warriors. Nice run back.
Yep, he had a great run back, and that was C.J. Merleau.
The Oilers will start 1st and 10. The ball resting.
Well, Western's defense doesn't get a lot of time to regroup. It could be a good thing. Get back out there, and let's see if we can't make some corrections.
Make up for that last play as Scooter's going to try and turn around the corner. And again, he makes somebody miss, and he's in the open field, and that's where he seems to be extremely dangerous, as Western looks like they had that play shut down pretty well, and Scooter made a nice move on the sideline and picked up about 19 yards.
You can see why he averages about 20 yards a carry right there, and that's one of the plays that they shut down in the first quarter. They came back to it. Looked like they were going to do it previous play. Unfortunately, he slipped coming out of his set position, but he's got wheels. And if he can hit that corner.
As they run him again in motion, now they're going to have the quarterback McIntyre banging forward for a couple of yards on the play.
And that's what it does right there. By putting him in motion, it makes everybody have to start guessing, trying to figure out who's got who. And if McIntyre gives it to him that time, he might not go, but it's all about setting up your next play. Great strategy.
Yep, Owen Bachkalupo in on that hit as well for the Western Warriors. Modest gain of a couple on the play. 2nd down and 8. Clock becoming a factor. 2:50 and counting left in our first half. 8-6. Western maintains the lead. Mount Pleasant's knocking on the door.
Right to
direct
Humphreys.
Snap right down. And it looked like Humphreys took that direct snap.
Number 10, Max Humphrey, the ball
He
carrier.
went into about the, I think they're going to mark him down at about the 5-yard line. And we got a Western Warrior. And if you're hurting, go down. Go down on the ground. As if the officials should give him an opportunity to get off the field. And they are not going to do that. It's coming off looking like he's going to have his Mellick. And boy, he's got a bad right wheel, and he's trying to run that off. Ball carried forward and tickling the goal line into the end zone. It's another Mount Pleasant Oiler touchdown. Davis on that touchdown run.
Well, we thought maybe getting Western back on the field would have been a good thing to let them recoup. But, you know, right now Mount Pleasant's really picking the right plays. I think the defense is going to need to sit the last 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Hopefully Western can punch something in. They're going to get the ball in the third quarter, so try and build that momentum back up, because this just turned in the last minute and a half.
This momentum has changed mightily in the last couple of minutes of this first half indeed, but still a whole lot of football left. And, you know, these conversions are almost as important, Jason, as the touchdowns, because Mount Pleasant with 2 touchdowns in this game is only up right now by 4 points.
Well, there's no...
He's back to try and make this happen. They try and float that thing out, and another conversion flirted by an interception. So the conversion is no good. Timeout with 2:19 left in the first half, 12-8. Mount Pleasant over Western. We'll see what the Warriors can do in the final 2:19 with 3 timeouts left right here on Bay County TV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Cuckolin, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back here on Bay County TV as we go to the last 2:19 of the half. Western needs to hang on to that football right now and see if they can put something together late.
We know they have the capabilities for sure.
As they tried a little squib kick, and again, if Western able to cover that, which they did, they're going to get the ball at the 40-yard line. I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Collier Chiropractic Center, Frank's Great Outdoors. 5 great sponsors for this broadcast and throughout this season as the Western Warriors actually get a pretty good start here, Jason, to see if they can go 60 yards in 2:14.
They've got big play capabilities for sure. They showed that with the one long run by O'Hara, but you know, the one thing that they're going to have to do is try to reestablish that momentum that they got a couple of possessions ago.
O'Hara again as they give that ball to Wiedike. Wiedike is banging forward. He's making some people miss. He's moving the pile for a gain of about 7 yards on the play. Best run of the night for Wiedike, but with 2 minutes left, Western needs to get back up to the line of scrimmage so that they can utilize as much time as they can and trying to save this clock time with $1:53 but all 3 Warrior timeouts remaining. So a lot of time left in this first half.
You know, these games that, sitting here at 12-8 right now reminds me of the old school when teams didn't have kickers. That's all they did. If you score, you go for 2. Score, go for 2.
O'Hare's trying to turn the corner. Is he able to get to the corner? He can't get around Scooter, but he's going to be able to pick up the first down with a great run on the play. Boy, Scooter showed some speed, Jason, to get out around the corner and keep that from being a big gain.
I thought it was a great play call, getting him an opportunity to try to get back to the outside. You're trying to go against Scooter out there, and that's going to be a race to the sideline. Great play also to get out of bounds. Well, try to take it up.
I'll tell you, Jason, you're just starting to think too much like me now. You're scaring me. They ran that play purposely so they could turn the corner, probably get the first down, but gave O'Hare that opportunity to save the 3 timeouts. So inside Oiler territory, 1st and 10 from the 46. O'Hare back. Boy, he's got a wide open man on the wing, but the coverage just collapsed as the pocket was not there. He had sitting out on the side Granson wide open in the flats as both defenders took off downfield to go with Randall. And another half a second to see that, and that would have been a huge play for Western. But, hey, give Mount Pleasant credit. We're going to take a quick break with $1:24 left in the first half. 12-8, Mount Pleasant over Western. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back here on Bay County TV as Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, Jared Doan and Nick Page. Glad to have you along on a rain-soaked night as there was a miscommunication on the snap. I believe they're going to have an illegal procedure penalty.
I think everybody on Western moved except for the center.
That's a problem.
It can be. Especially when he's wondering why everyone on the white team is running past him. Where are you going?
Well, the 5-yard penalty brings the ball back into their territory, back to the 45-yard line. Ball will be placed down. The clock will not start until the snap of the football, based on the stoppage of play for the timeout prior to the penalty.
I'm a little surprised. Western's played a pretty good, strong, well-disciplined, no miscue-free first half up until the kickoff, and now a couple of penalties that are really affecting what they're able to do. And it changes your play call until you have a guy named O'Hara.
Logan O'Hare, he's on his feet, set 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, he's down to the 1-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 3-yard line. Just found another gear down the sidelines. It'll be 1st and goal for the Western Warriors with $1:10 left in the first half and 2 timeouts.
That changes your play calling, right?
I would
Take
say
it to Wiedeck, let everybody think Wiedeck's going to get the ball, and then give it to O'Hara. Let him keep it. But you tell you what was impressive was him right around the sideline. How often as a high school player, when you're in that situation, do you just want to step out of bounds, get the clock stopped? You're playing the possession, you're playing the clock, especially if you have enough for the first down. He didn't. He saw that guy trying to close out to him around the 25, 30-yard line, and he cut back inside, get himself another 25 yards. Great play, great decision.
And very, very interesting that the people that called timeout here, the signal was the Mount Pleasant Oilers take that timeout. So I think that they are in a position to say, okay, Western's going to score. What we want to do is try and leave as much time on the clock in the first half as we can to try and come back down the field and make something happen. So that's a very interesting call from Coach McIntyre.
You don't become a championship caliber program without putting a lot of thought into when to use your timeouts. And realizing that his offense is also quick strike and has struck quick here in the last couple of minutes, they have an opportunity if Western does get in. I don't think he's telling his defense to let him score, but
right.
Just to make sure that there is an opportunity for additional time on that clock. It's important, and you want to know what? It could turn the tide of the ball game. As Coach Willards hustles off the field.
He was scooting. Wiedeck bangs forward. He's down to the 1-yard line, not in, but that's all right. With 2 timeouts left in a minute, they might as well run 35 seconds off the clock because they know that they're going to eat up as much of that first half as they can. I say you get up to the line of scrimmage, you look for that back judge to put his hand up for 10 seconds. Then at any point after that, you decide to run the offense because you got 3 plays right now to run in the last 40 seconds. Wiedike off to the right now. O'Hare gets the ball, keeps it up the middle. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown. Everybody thought Wiedike was going to get his hands on the ball. The defense flowed to Wiedike, and O'Hare said, look at that Red Sea part for me. I'm scooting into the end zone untouched.
He did that. He still wasn't sure what was happening there. It just opened up. Well, you got a guy like Wiedike. If I'm O'Hare, I'm faking it to him every time.
Wiedike has drawn a whole lot of attention, that is for certain.
You don't run for 1,000 yards accidentally, and I tell you what, O'Hare is showing his own prowess out there.
Now the attempt for 2 points, Western up by 2. And O'Hare again, he's banging forward. He's smelling the goal line. They're going to have to take a peek. He's very, very close. And I think that, yes, they did. They said the 2-point conversion is good. Timeout on the field with 34.6 ticks left in the first half. Western Warriors 16 and the Mount Pleasant Oilers 12. Back in a moment for the final 34 ticks of the first half on BCTV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back here on Bay County TV, again, like to thank our sponsors, Covenant Healthcare, Bay City Bills, Village Towing, Collier Chiropractic, and Frank's Great Outdoors. Thanks for being on board this year as Choate will kick off for the Western Warriors. And let's see if he cranks this thing into the end zone again as he addresses the football. He gets a nice leg on it, and he's going to have that thing hit the ground. And it just kind of dies at the 11. Going to be picked up. A couple of players for Western slip. We're going to have penalty flag down, which means we are going to have that possession go all the way back inside the 10-yard line because they'll go half the distance to the goal, and that's going to put, depending on where they actually start that penalty from, they're going to be back around the 10-yard line, and that play took 9 seconds off the clock on the return, so that's very costly.
Scooter trying to run for some extra yardage, coming back across the field. Yeah, he chewed 11 seconds off the clock.
Well, it went from what did we have here at the touchdown? 34.
34 seconds, okay.
So it was 9 seconds.
And now it puts you back in right around the 10-yard line for your starting position. You know, Coach McIntyre, do you want to take a couple of shots, maybe just jump into victory formation or take a couple
I know him well enough that I don't think they're going to take a knee.
I didn't say victory formation.
Yep.
Obviously, it's the wrong choice
right.
of words, but you know, they've had success. They've been able to break off a couple of runs.
Western calls timeout. Sorry, Jason, but the Western wanted to see what formation they were in. Now they want to talk things over. They said, hey, you know, we got 2 timeouts left. No sense in wasting both of them to take them into the locker room with us, but we'll stay right here during this timeout as when you look at the way this first half has gone, and then in the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds, there's been 3 touchdowns scored.
Well, I think a lot of it was like a heavyweight fight. You got 2 teams, very good, very strong, very stingy, feeling each other out. Both have been fueled by a turnover, a couple of long runs for both squads. O'Hare with 2 for Western. Humphreys for Mount Pleasant, getting that turnover deep into their territory, giving them an opportunity to score real quick. You know, the momentum's going back and forth. You know, this is going to be a great game, great second half. It's going to be about the adjustments. It's going to see what are we going to be able to do that we haven't shown them yet here in the first.
Well, field conditions just continue to deteriorate, but I haven't seen a lot of major slipping as McIntyre's just going to do a straight handoff off of the left side and banging forward for about 6 yards on the play.
Number 10, Max Humphrey, the ball
is Humphrey. And coming up out of the bottom of the stack are I'm trying to find Dylan Reynolds, I think, was the initial hit defensively, and I think now Mount Pleasant is just going to run the first half out. And at the end of our first half of play, the Western Warriors 16, the Mount Pleasant Oilers 12. We'll be back in just a minute to recap the first half, set the stage for the second half, right here on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back at the Collier Chiropractic halftime show on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Your heavyweight match came to fruition in the first half and still until the 3:50 mark of the first half, and then in the next 3 minutes and 19 seconds, 3 touchdowns scored.
Yeah, it was a matter of time. I don't think either of these offenses really can be put on ice for an entire game. At one point, it looked like we might see an 8-0 football game. But the reality of it is Mount Pleasant's too explosive, Western's too explosive, and you're starting to really see the playmakers that we talked about before the game really doing exactly what we thought they would do.
With Coach Willards and the success that O'Hare had in the first half, the best thing it shows me is your quarterback can handle the ball without an exchange issue with anybody else on the team, and that's pretty important as he rushes 15 times for 133 yards.
Well, he's doing what he does best and what he's done all year. A couple of runs, the first couple of 3 and outs that they had, their first 2 possessions. I think, it was just trying to feel everything out. You got the adrenaline, got a great crowd even for a rainy night, great crowd on both sides. They know what's at stake here, and I think there was just that tentativeness that it took that 62-yard run to really just kind of melt the ice a little bit and allow them to start playing the football that they're accustomed to and the football that Coach Willards expects.
Humphreys on the other side, 8 rushes for 106 yards, so he's been able to make something happen too. But I think for the most part, the Western defense has really stood tall.
They have, and you're looking at Humphreys. He had the 69, so it was a 70-yard run that he had for the touchdown. You know, he's like Barry Sanders. You know, you bottle him up a couple of times, 2-yard gain here, 2-yard gain here, and then he can pop one. So it's you can't rest when you have a player of his caliber on the other side. But it's not just Humphreys you're watching. Just like Mount Pleasant's defense isn't just able to key on Wiedike. They've got O'Hara, they've got Randall, they've got other options. Same thing with Mount Pleasant. They've got a lot of options and a lot of potential big play threats.
I think if you would have come into this ball game, though, Jason, and said that Wiedike was only going to touch the ball 4 times in the first half, I think we'd all be a little surprised.
I'd be a little surprised, but again, I'm not questioning Coach Willards in the game plan. You know, this is something that he and his staff have looked at, you know, between game film and what Mount Pleasant does and what they try to take away and where his strengths are. And maybe his strengths aren't getting to the outside necessarily like O'Hara's able to. But to have a player like that, a monster, who has dedicated himself to becoming a great running back, strength up the wazoo, and if you're able to use a player like that as a decoy, you know you're going to have a chance. You're going to put yourself in a chance to win this championship.
Only one other play that Western wishes they had back in the first half. O'Hara's pass deep to Randall had a couple of steps on the defense. Maybe he looks back and puts a little air under that, but I like the fact that they are running those type of plays just to keep the defense honest.
I think that we talked about it when it happened. You know, you'd love to connect. I mean, who wouldn't have a touchdown, you know, when he's 3-4 yards deeper than Scooter Polk there. But, you know, just being able to show that you can do that, have that arm, have that ability, you're going to make the defensive coordinator from Mount Pleasant go crazy there in the second half and see what they do with their adjustments.
It's going to be a great and exciting second half of play. That puts the wraps on the Collier Chiropractic halftime show. Back with all the second half action for the Valley Championship right here on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here on Bay County TV, excited for the possibilities in the second half. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you, as we've got Jared Doan down there along with Nick Page. That is our fun 4-pack tonight. As what are we waiting on? Going to reset the clock.
There's only 8 seconds left. 6, 5.
We don't want to deprave anybody as they sit in line at the concession stand. They said, man, let me get through this line so I can get back to my seat and enjoy the second half.
Every official's out there going, hey, it's raining. Let's go.
Let's get this thing started. And I walked outside for a minute at halftime, and it's a steady rain, but doesn't seem to be a cold rain, doesn't seem to be a menacing rain. So we'll see now as the second half gets ready to start. Western will take and put their hands on the ball. Coming up over the 30 to the 39-yard line. On the return, looks like number 1, Marathew. Who do we got, Jay?
We got Branham Buck, number 44, with the kickoff return there.
So Buck got this one, and as he looked like he had 4 hands wrapped around that football, was not going to allow that thing to squirt free. So pretty nice starting field position for the Western Warriors. This first possession of the second half for both teams should be real interesting, Jason, to see if halftime adjustments were made or needed.
Well, it's the punch-counter-punch theory in this type of game right here. But, you know, we talked about it even before as Wiedike gets the handoff here, looks to make something happen. He just wants to bully people. He just wants to run you over. But we talked about in the last possession about that offense having to regain that momentum going in, and they were able to take the ball down the field. Nice run by O'Hare, punches it in a couple plays later, gets that 16-12 lead, which is also key to note. 4 points. So even if Mount Pleasant has a kicker, which they kicked extra points, they've been kicking extra points all year. They have somebody over there that can kick, but still a 2-possession game.
That's exactly what another score will do.
Correct.
We'll find out now what the Western Warriors do. They lost a yard on the play. Second down at 11 yards to go. Wiedike off to the side. Now we've got O'Hare, and O'Hare kind of had one of those linebacker spotters, and it looked like Henry coming up, just skying him and spying him anyway, and he picked up a couple of yards on the play. Might have got back just past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and about 10 yards to go now for Western, and they've got things set up for Randall on that counter action.
They do, and I do apologize for it being a 2-possession game. I'm a basketball coach. 4 points is key for me.
Well, that's why I just added, because you're anticipating Western getting another score to put them up by that margin. So, third down and 10 yards to go as they look things over right now. O'Hare's going to give that thing to Randall. Randall trying to cut to the inside, and boy, the defense had that play absolutely shut down. As I'm going to quit prognosticating for the year, because I just picked the play that they're going to run, and for me to even be on the level of Coach Willards puts me in some pretty select company.
Rare air is what they call that. Now,
rarefied.
I would say, on a drive field, I think that play they had some blockers out front, but unfortunately, when you had to turn to go back, you almost have to come to a complete stop when you're going side to side like that.
Yeah, you got to do the baby steps at that point so that your foot just does not come out from under you. So Western goes 3 and out, only picking up 1 yard on that first series of the second half. And that kick is a high kick, and that is going to take a nice Western roll and might have cost themselves 4 or 5 yards, as Western wanted to stifle that ball down and could have maybe rolled a little bit farther, but still pushing them inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10, as no flags on the play. I don't know what.
One on the sideline.
We have illegal formation, and what that's going to be is, if that's a false start, they're going to blow that dead at the snap. It's an illegal formation with 5 men in the backfield. Therefore, it's a live ball foul, and they are going to play out the play. Then you can decide whether you're going to take the penalty or not, and they think that they got pretty good field position, all things said, so they're going to start at their own 28.
No, I agree. It's a good decline right there. He showed ability to punt earlier. That has a nice leg, but Irvin really jumped on that ball. I don't know if he thought it was a live ball the way he had turned and jumped on it as quick as he did. But either way, we're back in action.
They're coming up and trying to move forward with the ball and not really having a great handle on it when he took that ball. And coming to the near side of the field is number 10 on the play as Max Humphrey does the shot or does the direct snap from center.
That looked
Wildcat.
really rushed. The snap, the guys moving, it just seemed like a real rush, and it almost turned out against the Oilers as they rushed back up, trying to create a little tempo here.
Well, and it's probably not going to be as effective after they try it a couple of times and trying to get to the outside. And there's a block right there where the defender from Western was taken down to the ground, and apparently no call on it, and a modest gain on the play out to about the 34-yard line, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and long 4-yard to go situation. Lucky that didn't end up being 10 the other way against Mount Pleasant.
Lined up Davis as quarterback and ran McIntyre off it. I'm wondering, again, setting them up. Is it going to be set up for another play, maybe almost a flea flicker with a little reverse action?
Well, they're coming out and doing something a little bit different. It looked like the up back moved early before the snap of the football, and that is right at the responsibility of the referee, so might have looked that way to me. He obviously had the great look from down the field. It's going to be enough to move the sticks, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mount Pleasant Oilers out to the 40-yard line.
Oh, it was a nice play. It was the same thing that I'm looking at, the same thing you're seeing. It just looked like they're like a half a second, quarter of a second early.
So we'll find out now as Mount Pleasant thinks that they've got things figured out, trying to get to the outside, and that didn't fool anybody from Western as they tried to make it look like McIntyre was going to get that ball around the outside, and that play got shut down as soon as it started, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. I'd say loss of maybe a half a yard on the play, 2nd down and just over 10.
Well, we talked about watching the wrinkles, what was going to change in the second half. Well, putting Davis at the quarterback spot, putting McIntyre, getting him in motion a couple of times, either for the pitch or for the fake. Just trying to give the Western defense something to think about as their staff has to start trying to strategize a little bit about what to do, what they're going to do, and what's coming next.
7:25 and counting left in the 3rd. Penalty flag on the play. And they're going to have a false start on the offense.
I'll give them credit. That's the first one they've had in quite some time.
2, 4, 6. That is the 8th time they have been called for a false start on the offense, and that's very, very uncharacteristic of this Mount Pleasant club.
Well, we're in a very tight ball game, and again, talking about it, we talk about it every week. We talk about it no matter what sport we're covering. It's all about limiting the miscues, limiting the mistakes.
And week to week in the Saginaw Valley League, I'll give you an example after this play of how things can differ. As they tried to run a play and a little bit of a backside screen and snuffed out by the Western Warriors, and McIntyre should be lucky that that did not get intercepted. So a couple of weeks ago, Mount Pleasant plays Midland. They win by 4 points. Midland uncharacteristically misses 2 field goals and 2 extra points. That next week, they come to Western, and Western gives Midland the worst defeat they've had in their football history as far back as records go. And now this week, you've got this game. So that just goes to show you how tough the SVL continues to be.
It does, and you have to adapt to so many different things every week. So many different things every week that can come up. Different offenses, different styles, different formats.
As that ball carrier on the play, looks like it's Humphrey. And Humphrey gets back not quite to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 12, and it'll be a situation where I think Randall's going to get an opportunity to come back and see if he can make a return.
Yeah, big stop there by the Western defense. Mount Pleasant comes out, gets that first down pretty quick. All of a sudden, they're maybe back on their heels. Benefit from that 5-yard penalty that puts them back.
See if Western looks like they're going to try and set up the return, as Randall's going to get an opportunity to come forward. And we're going to have a penalty flag thrown by the umpire way back downfield. We had the back judge with a penalty flag too, so they're going to probably spot that foul back around the 25-yard line after the penalty. They're going to probably have a block in the back against Western.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them on the way. You know, it's a tricky thing, you know, and it's one of those calls that, as a fan, why did you block him? Why did you push him? You see his numbers. What goes through your mind? But, you know, being a coach long enough, you kind of take out the reason of what a 17 or a 16-year-old kid will do at the time, because you want to know what? 28-year-olds are doing it on Sundays.
I mean, and they're trying to make a play for their team, but when you look at the amount of real estate that's lost on that play, they were up to about the 46-yard line. Now back to the 25. The abacus says 21-yard differential on that penalty.
And, you still worry me. I'm not going to lie. You still worry me.
Well, as long as I got my abacus, I'm all set. 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Did you steal that from Teal Handy High?
Thomas Lincoln, yep, that we used them back in school, that's for sure. That was still
sundials
part of the math
too.
program.
Don't worry about it. We figured out how to do sundials.
Has double wing to the near side of the field. O'Hare with Wiedike. And they're going to throw that thing downfield, and the ball is loose on the field. And what are they going to say? Was that ball thrown or was that ball? And unfortunately for O'Hare, that ball, if that thing gets off, Randall is so wide open downfield, he could have walked into the end zone. He's saying he threw the football, and Coach Willert says he threw the football. So the referee's coming over right now to have a little conversation on that. O'Hare is adamant out on the field that he threw that football.
I thought he threw it. I am, watching him go back, and I saw the same thing opening up. Randall split in the middle. I didn't think that there was.
How does that ball
chance.
get that far forward if your arm's not going forward, Jason?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be one that referee maybe have to take a look. It's okay. They make mistakes. Maybe it was a mistake, but unfortunately we don't have the benefit of replay, and puts the Western defense right back on the field.
So they're going to try a little flea flicker back across the grain. That pass is intended over there, looks like for number 42, Henry. 40, number 20, Davis. Okay, that's all right. When you see the right number, you can chirp it out there, brother. But they tried to run a play really quick while Western was still very, very upset about that call. And I really think that was a huge call in this football game, and one that I feel, based on where that ball ended up, that
he said
it's missed.
He planted and was ready to make the throw, and contact. A lot of activity going back there.
3 people in front trying to be out in front of that play as it goes down to about the 32-yard line, still in bounds. So we've got 6 minutes and 14 seconds and counting left in the third. Still 16-12 Western on top. It's going to be 3rd down and short for the Mount Pleasant Oilers. And
I think Coach McIntyre is emptying his playbook in this second half. He's trying to run a lot of misdirection, just trying to get those athletes and those playmakers.
And there's movement on and that's happened numerous times tonight. I really think that one just got caught. And you know what? I don't care if you've got 10 officials on the field, Jason. It's hard to see all your pre-snap keys, but they did get this one right, and that penalty makes a huge difference on 3rd down.
Well, the good thing for these officials is there's probably about 1,600 other ones that they can rely on here. At the cornfield.
They're never wrong.
Never. They're never wrong on Saturday. They're never wrong on Sunday.
3rd down at 7. Boy, they try and get out of the huddle real quick, and they're even slipping and falling in. Trying to turn around the corner. Western doing a nice job of shutting the door down again, as getting back there defensively with the first hit was Owen Folsom.
We talked about in the first half, 4-down territory. You're going into that play, you really want to get a couple of yards. You want to make 4th down a little bit more manageable. 4th and 8 versus 4th and 4. It just changes your scope. It changes what you're able to do as a coaching staff as far as your play call. It opens it up a little bit more, and now they're ready to rock and roll here on 4th down.
Well, this is a huge play in the ball game. This could be the Village Towing key play of the game. We'll find out now as McIntyre coming up, looking things over, and Coach McIntyre says we better have a timeout and talk this thing over and see what we can come up with for a play. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back on BCTV with a big 4th down and 4-yard to go situation. Out of a timeout. McIntyre up to the line of scrimmage. Pitch to the outside. trying to shut that play down, and I don't believe he got that first down as the Western pursuit to the football was nothing short of incredible.
It's all going to be where he marks him. He had a little forward progress there.
I don't believe he got it.
Uh-oh, they're going to have to bring the chains out. You got one side saying yes, one side saying no. So let's just settle it in the middle.
This is going to come down to the stripe of the football, and I think that he got a pretty good spot, but I still got to believe that as one of the Western players is hobbling off, I think they're short by the stripe of the football.
Chain malfunction.
By the stripe of the football, it's 1st and 10 for the Mount Pleasant Oilers.
I liked the play call. It's been successful. I really like the Western play call on the defensive side of it. I thought they had him stopped. It was a power versus power situation. I thought he was granted a favorable spot. I thought they held him up a yard short, but it is what it is. This game is a game of inches.
You're right. We don't have that perfect angle, but I thought, as you did, Jason, that was a very favorable spot. Now they're going to try and run to the outside. That ball carrier, number 20, Corey Davis, bangs forward for about 4 yards on the play, as the Western defense has got to come up with another huge stop here with 4:25 and counting left in the third.
Be surprised right here if they don't just keep running Humphreys and running Davis, giving them quite a bit of a dose of them. They're pretty strong running backs. They're getting their feet going. They're getting a little downhill. I don't want to say the rain's letting up, but it's just, you're almost used to it by now. And look at that.
That quick pitch to the outside. Nice cut back across the grain. He is down inside the 10-yard line to about the 5. It'll be 1st and goal for Mount Pleasant as they are continuing to move the ball here as we're approaching 4 minutes left in our third quarter of play.
The thing about that I've noticed, and we talked about turnovers. Western right now is -2. And if they score here, Mount Pleasant, that's going to be another touchdown. It's going to be 12 more points against those turnovers.
And we got another false start on the offense.
How could you tell?
I think everybody and their brother, I think 1,600 fans threw a yellow hanky on that.
But if they score here, it's not just about getting the turnovers. It's about converting the turnovers. Same thing with Western. Okay, your offense turns it over. Could have been a bad call. Could have been whatever. But the defense still can put their heels in the ground, and they can still try and get a stop to offset it. So it's important right now for Western to try to hold them to at least maybe a field goal, or at least keep pushing them back a little bit from the 11.
Well, that power sweep seems to be the most successful play since midway through the first quarter. And again, they send that thing out, and looks like he's going to scamper into the end zone. It is a Mount Pleasant Oiler touchdown. Is that Max Humphrey ran that ball or Davis? 10 or 20? It's getting dirty, and I can't tell.
Corey Davis. Davis hits the goal line for the first time tonight.
It was Humphrey, yep. And the thing is, as soon as that thing turned the corner, Juicy McIntyre threw his arms up in the air before he even got back to the line of scrimmage. He knew they had called the right play. And now, look, they're going to be attempting an extra point to see if they can go up over the Western Warriors by 3. And this is also something you got to worry about, people having their proper footing. And Western comes off sides, I believe.
Yeah, just a bit early.
And now what do you do here from the 1.5-yard line, Coach? I think you rethink what you're doing, and you might go for 2.
Well, I think you're looking at it this way. If you get the extra point here, you're up 3. You're forced Western, if possibly for a field goal opportunity. If you miss the 2-point conversion, well, here you go. You're going to have your 2-point conversion. But if you don't get it, a field goal then gives Western the 1-point advantage. So you're playing numbers. I mean, they got their abacus, I'm sure, over on the sideline.
So, yep, they are no longer going to attempt the extra point. They're going to go for 2. And they move in another fresh ball. I don't believe they've even been given their ready for play yet here. And if they have, it's only 25 seconds, and that's been very generous time. I don't even see the back judge with his hand up in the air to say that potentially blowing a tire, not able to get into the end zone. The two-point conversion is no good. Time out of the field with 3:39 left in the third. 18-16. Mount Pleasant over Western. Back in a moment on BCTV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Cuckolin or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. And Jared Doan down there along with Nick Page running the show from the other side. The two-point conversion is no good. And now there's a little squib kick, and Western's going to really try and get down on that football. They do look like they are down on it, but that's a pretty good squib kick, and that'll put them down at about the 26-yard line. So successful kick. Pooch style on this wet ground, and you never know that pigskin's not round, and it takes some pretty crazy bounces.
Just for the record, basketball season was right around the corner, and it's 68 and sunny every time you enter the basketball arena. Just letting you know. No, we don't have any rain showers during basketball games.
Well, if you do, then you got big roof troubles.
I tell you, they've mixed their kicks up. They actually were able to get the fumble on the one kickoff. They kicked off again, a nice return over there by Brandon Buck. And, now they've squibbed the last couple. They're just trying to mix it up a little bit, not be consistent.
1st and 10 as O'Hare goes for a long snap count, trying to draw the defense. And he says, we're going to reset the show here, seeing what they're doing. They're stacking 9 in the box. As they give that ball to Wiedike, and he bangs forward for a modest gain of a couple of yards on the play. But again, they're looking upstairs. They want to see how the defense is reacting to O'Hare and Randall coming to the near side of the field. And I would not be shocked to see that transpire yet in this ball game.
No, I talk about it till we're blue in the face. This is a big-time game, big-time coaches. It's a chess match. They've got to play. And we're not talking about you and I playing chess. We got some experts out there that know what they're doing, where things need to go, what they're looking for, the things that we're not even seeing out there besides, that's a great play. But they're looking at what's the next one going to be.
Spassky and Fisher are going at it out here with this chess match. Not McIntyre and Willards, but no. It's been loads of fun. And again, I really think that the snap infraction against Western there is just a wet ball, and you go to snap that thing and it doesn't go back to the quarterback, and it cost Western 5 yards here, which is 5 yards of valuable real estate at this point in the field. But you're really looking for spots on the field, Jason, right now that are not becoming threadbare. And they're going to call that against the defense for being offsides. So they may have hit the center before he had a chance to snap the ball. And footing really is going to be an issue going down the stretch, because it really looks like this field is taking on a lot of water and is really getting tore up.
We used to love playing outside on Sundays, the old backyard, get the neighborhood kids, and this was our favorite weather to play in, diving, getting all.
Not Mom's, though, because she had to get the Tide stick.
Well, before Tide sticks, son, before Tide sticks.
Second down, short 4. As they're going to pass that thing on the outside, it is picked off. And Scooter's got that ball down to the 15-yard line, right through the hands of C.J. Merrithew. And that turnover gives the ball back to the Mount Pleasant Oilers deep into Western territory.
It was good play call, maybe a little indecision, maybe should have held on to the ball. Threw it in double coverage, but there's also 2 Warriors over there, so you were kind of figuring out maybe he's throwing it to the other one gets his hands up, but you tell you what, Scooter just come out with the ball. And it was right place, right time for him.
Scooter just made a play.
Scooter's made a couple of them. I've been happy we've been able to say Scooter as many times as we have been.
He has been all over the field tonight as Mr. Polk comes up with a big play for the Mount Pleasant Oilers, up by 2 with 3:29 left in our third quarter of play.
Third turnover of the game for the Warriors. First 2 turnovers.
We're going to have a Mount Pleasant timeout. They burned their second timeout here. That's kind of interesting that you'd come out for the first play of your drive and need to use a timeout, but we'll take one as well and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back here on Bay County TV, you look over on the Mount Pleasant side, and they've got people bringing their own personal canopies to the game. They're prepared for the weather, but back to the action as McIntyre is going to have the quick pitch to this side of the field. And pushing forward with that pile. Looked like Davis, the ball carrier. He got about 5 or 6 yards on the play.
Get a Warrior down as well.
He was brought down by Dylan Reynolds.
Nope, they're going to get Humphrey on that play. Very hard to tell. Those jerseys, those white jerseys are really starting to get dirty, and you got to stare at them to find out what's going on. Can't tell the Western Warrior that's down, but Western's going to come to the sidelines. Got to stay on the field, talk to the coach, get a little drink of water, and hopefully this injury is nothing severe, but we'll take another quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back on Bay County TV after a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Mount Pleasant Oilers as that ball is resting just on the 10-yard line. As the fullback gets the ball and he bangs forward, moving the pile to about the 6-yard line. He is going to be about a yard short of that first down marker, as they've used the fullback sparingly, but just enough, Jason, to keep the defense honest.
It keeps them honest, and we were talking about it between break there, and again, turnovers. This, if they can create either a good stop here or a turnover, they need to get something on this defense side. They're playing a whale of a game, great game. But you know what? You can only bend so much before that breaking, the dam starts to break. And
trying to come to the outside again with a great cut on the play. Humphrey gets the first down and gets down to the 2-yard line and maybe lost his footing a little bit. As on a dry day, he cuts to the outside. He was cutting to daylight.
He was. He's already got the 3 touchdowns for the Oilers this game, looking to add a 4th one to his total of 15 on this season. You know, it's a pretty impressive Mount Pleasant team. I'm not surprised. Well coached, great athletes. They just kind of did everything. You know, they took the punches when Western scored early, and they keep staying the course.
McIntyre up under center. Power formation of the far side of the field. Not into the end zone as of yet. They're going to come in and take a peek, and now it's going to be a Mount Pleasant Oiler touchdown.
Touchdown, Mount Pleasant.
Took a minute, and the officials did exactly what they need to do. If you can't tell, you just keep running up to the pile until you get a good view of whether they're over or not. And that touchdown gives an 8-point lead. And this is a huge extra point because an extra point made here makes it a 2-possession game.
A true 2-possession game in football.
Football. And Scooter's holding. Extra point is low, and it's blocked and no good. We've got time out of the field with $1:11 left in the third. The Western defense has really slammed the door on every one of the conversion attempts for Mount Pleasant tonight. With plenty of time left in this football, Western gets their hands back on the ball. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Back on BCTV as the Western offense goes out on the field to return this kick.
Tyler Hutchins kicking off from
Buck is deep to return the kick.
Robinson and Buck back deep to receive for the Warriors.
I can't see who's to the near side.
Aiden Robinson, we're going to call number 17, little sophomore action.
And there's another little squib kick, and that's going to go out of bounds. Now, this is interesting, Jason, because you could take it at the 35, you can take it where it goes out of bounds, or you can re-kick. And I think Western's going to say, I don't want to take the chance on not being able to recover this ball. We'll take it safely at the 35-yard line and start our offense.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. He's got to get that offense out there. He's got to get that offense rolling. You know, last couple possessions, the turnover, the fumble, that arguable, questionable, alleged fumble, and then the interception that was just a right place for the right time for Scooter, but it was a misfortune of bounces on the pass. They're going to need to try and refine their footing right now, get some momentum back with their offense, with their running, and try to reestablish themselves and give their defense a break.
Trying to roll around the corner, doing a nice job trying to finish is O'Hare. And O'Hare stays in bounds, and he gets about 4 yards out to the.
He gets out to that
44.
sideline, out to the edge. He gets out there pretty quick. He's a big kid. He's a strong kid. You kind of wonder, but his speed and his foot speed, even in the conditions that we're in right now, he still has the ability to get to that edge.
His McIntyre is the safety on the wide side of the field right now, as it's 2nd down and 6. Wiedike banging forward, and look at him just moving the stack. He is very close to that first down marker. I think they're going to give him the first down. As what are they? The line judge has got that ball right on the 50. Why are they not stopping the clock to? Now they finally come in and they take a peek at it. They just took about 14 seconds off the clock while they were trying to figure out what we already knew, that was a first down.
If they just would listen to us a little bit more, I think we'd be a lot better off.
Well, and now here Western's going to have to race if they're going to get one more playoff here in this third quarter, 8 seconds and counting. Again, Wiedike coming to this side of the field, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter of play. And our score, the Mount Pleasant Oilers 24, the Western Warriors 16. Back in a moment for the final quarter of the regulation here at the Cornfield at Western.
Hi, my name is Grace, and I love music, but I've also struggled with depression. I wouldn't be here doing what I love if it wasn't for OK to Say.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a 2-year starter on the varsity football team. And with all the pressure building up, I've had thoughts of suicide, and I might not be here today without OK to Say.
Hi, my name is Haley, and I just got into med school. If I hadn't got the help that I needed, I wouldn't have been able to pursue my dream of becoming a doctor. OK to Say saved me.
OK to Say saved me.
OK to Say saved me. Don't hesitate to speak up.
Back here on BCTV as we start the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 9 yards to go for the Western Warriors, as they are on a spot of the field right now, Jason, that is very threadbare.
It is, and that's the spot we talked about earlier. Maybe that's why they went with the lowercase w out there, so it would be less paint, less slip option out there.
So Wiedike trying to bang forward, and he gets another yard, and the linebackers flow into the football, and Scooter gets in there too on the hit.
That's O'Hara with the keeper, actually faked it off. He's got a really good. He's really deceiving out there. Probably one of the good reasons why he's had the year that he's had is his deceitful. Wiedike just had a great run. You know, 2 plays ago had a best run of the game, bullied his way down there, and now we're in a big 3rd and 8 situation here early in the fourth quarter. Warriors are down by 8 points, 24-16.
And since the start of the second quarter, the Mount Pleasant offense has showed much more efficiency. So going to be interesting on this 3rd down play what Western can get, and if they'll decide that they might try something on 4th down. And they're going to have a delay of game. That's the only thing the back judge is going to throw in this game. And when we thought he could have had one earlier and he wasn't even up with his hand, now he slides one through it. quite the inopportune time for the Western Warriors.
For the Warrior faithful, that's a bad call.
But you know what? You got to be observant. O'Hara's got to take a glance up at that back judge. He'll go up at the hand over the head at 10, and he'll chop the last 5 seconds out. And it's got to be up to O'Hara to take a quick peek at that. And Western now finds themselves down in a 3rd and 13 situation where they're going to have to come up with 6-7 yards to give them an opportunity to think about what they're doing on 4th. Trying to come to the near side of the field, and they pick up about 6 yards on the play, but it's still going to bring up a 3rd down and about 9 yard to go situation. I'm thinking they punt the football this early in the 4th quarter, and I think that's what Coach Willards has decided to do. I think you trap Mount Pleasant deep in your own end and hope to either stop them quick or see if your defense can come up with a turnover.
Yeah. Legal formation there. It would have been a legal formation. The play ran.
Yep.
They declined it.
You're getting
I'm picking
good,
up.
Jason.
I tell you, the thing about it is you wonder if Coach Willits had in his mind if they got it to 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 5, if this is a different scenario right now. But, kicking it away. They kicked it away from Scooter last time. He had a couple of
you kicked this to the wide side of the field this time, and I don't even think you let the Scooter do it.
Oh.
As that ball is down and it is fumbled, and it's going to be at the 40-yard line. The Mount Pleasant Oilers are going to have their hands on the football.
And we have a penalty flag as well, and it's going to be declined.
They're going to have another illegal formation on the Western Warriors. I'm going to have to start looking on every play. I got a lot of other things cooking, but for them to get Western 2 plays in a row on that, one of 2 things are happening. And first off, what's got to be, if you're a wide receiver or on the end from Western, all you got to do is check with the official on the side. Give him a punch forward or a hand behind your back. Am I on? Am I off? And, that person on the end is still considered on the line if the head of the helmet is inside the butt of the center. That is what you determine for if it's on the line.
Well, we just talked about turnovers and miscues and trying to flip the field, and Mount Pleasant.
Did they give it right back? Ball is down on the ground. I believe Mount Pleasant gets their hands on that football as McIntyre looked like he's coming off the field right now. I don't know if he's injured or if he's coming over there to get a play call, but I think he's calling for somebody to come into the game for him.
Needs a little towel action right now. They've already put Davis back there at the quarterback spot, so even if he has to step off, they're more than capable of running players back there, and he's going to run back out anyway.
They're bringing him back out. I thought he may have been hurt. He was just looking to clean the hands, and there's nothing on the jersey or pants that's clean enough, and they're not even down to 10 seconds. They are just down to 10 now. They do the direct snap back, and couple of yards maybe on the play as Chope and a bunch of other people shut that play down in a hurry, as the runner on the play was number 10 again, Humphrey.
He's definitely a workhorse. Came in thinking, between him and Davis, they've had 21 touchdowns combined between the two of them coming into the game. That's a 2-headed monster similar to what Western has, and we've seen it in the past when you have running backs that are capable of providing you that power, and then you got the lightning.
So McIntyre doesn't get his hands on the ball, and there is a run on the play, and that is going to be Davis again. Penalty flag on the play. Hold everything. And this is a big one. And they're coming back, so they certainly think that one's against them. We're going to have a block in the back against the Mount Pleasant Oilers, and that'll be a 10-yard spot foul, and that'll move the ball back to the 43-yard line. And they used McIntyre as a decoy again on that right wing, and the Western defense was a little too aware of where he was at on the field.
When your decoys is Ryan McIntyre, and your other one is Max Humphrey, and you got Corey Davis with the ball, that's when you just go old-fashioned football and you tackle everybody. You just go after everybody. One of them's going to have the ball. There's a 99% probability.
And we got somebody in front of us deciding to stand up with their big umbrella, and we can't see a thing. So up we go. as we're going to have the last time out of the game by the Mount Pleasant Oilers, as we are in a 9:07 left in the game, 24-16 situation, Mount Pleasant by 8. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back here on Bay County TV as the big 3rd down and 12-yard to go situation. Here comes the pressure from Western. McIntyre's trying to throw that ball off into the corner. It's complete for a first down as the blitzing linebacker for the Western Warriors could not bring McIntyre down, and they're going to move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10, as I believe that pass was complete to number 8, Rondi.
Hasn't had a lot of opportunity to throw the ball, and I tell you, that was a nice throw in the rain, wet, on the move. Everything had to happen just right. And I tell you what I liked about the receiver, got past the sticks. So as you like to say, so when you come back to the ball, you're still going to be ahead of the sticks and still come up with the first down.
Very nicely done again there. That lead back, as they have done multiple times tonight, as early. This one gets picked up again by the ref. It's almost a deceptive thing where they're just leaning forward, but as a white hat, that's right on you, and he did get it that time, and that is another 5-yard penalty. That is 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 times tonight in the ball game. There's been a false start penalty, and I believe there could have been 5 or 6 more.
I agree with that, and they come at crucial times. They come running to the line. They want to get everything rolling, going quick, the tempo. Try to get Western maybe to jump, get a little edgy.
Again, they're moving, and I'm right on the official that time, and that's been happening all game long, and the referee's going to come over and say your up back is not going to be able to anticipate that snap count.
No, he's getting off. He's getting off a tenth of a second, 2/10 of it. But you know what? It's illegal.
Yep.
If I dribble the ball and pick it back up, I can't take one more dribble because I want to.
Unless you're in Europe.
True. And you can take multiple steps.
First down and 20 yards to go. As the last couple of plays have been good for the Western defense because that just kind of gives them a little blow, too. They catch their second wind and see what they can do to make stuff happen. That ball's going to the outside right now. As
I'm going power sweep.
Coming to the near side of the field. Power sweep to the near side of the field, and the Warrior defense just stands them up, and the defensive back coming from the back end as I'm waiting to see his number.
Oh, your favorite, one of your favorite names. One of your favorite names, Bacigalupo.
Oh, that was a great finish by Bacigalupo as there was modest gain of about a yard on that play. It'll be second down and 19 yards to go. And again, we all had that play pegged, what they wanted to run. And now Western's defense, let's see if they can continue to rise to the occasion. McIntyre to the outside, throws a little dump pass, and it's completed on the play, but
short gain.
Why are they blowing? The official waved his hands over there like they were killing the play, and now they're going to wind the clock. I really don't understand what that was all about.
I don't know, maybe he got mixed up on the first down. I don't know what he was thinking.
If you even are, it's short of the double
everything.
And that's why, as officials, you do this with your fingers over your head to remind each other there's double sticks. So even if you see that out of the corner of your eye, when you're the head linesman, you can't see this change. You have to say the first down marker is on the 14-yard line. That's got to be in your mind on every series of snaps. McIntyre tried to go forward, and he is slammed in the backfield and unable to make things go. Well, right now, Jason, it's fourth down and it's 15 yards to go. You're in no man's land. You're really not going to gain much from a punt. So I think they try and toss this thing deep past the first down marker and see what they can hope for.
Well, you got the Hail Mary option, so if it gets intercepted, which what most cornerbacks, most defensive backs, they don't think knocking it down is a better play. They think making the interception, get that momentum. Other aspect of it, if Mount Pleasant catches it, then it's great as well.
They got a couple of clean jerseys out here. As Scooter is going to be back, and Scooter wants to run the ball. He's going to be way short of the first down. They're going to have a holding penalty anyway had Scooter gone. But the Western defense comes up with a huge stop here in this ball game with 6:01 left in the game. We'll wait for the official word.
Where'd those guys come from in the white uniforms?
Yeah, two guys fresh off the bench came out there full white on top, and we knew that they
had their
played a lot of snaps.
We had their numbers and everything.
Well, Western is going to decline that penalty and take the ball 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. And Western, in the next 6:01, needs to hit pay dirt and get a 2-point conversion to see if they can send this thing into an extra session.
Well, they've had some good opportunities. They've had some good options. They've got to make sure they take care of the football in this possession.
And that is going to be a illegal procedure on the offense. As again, to me, it looks like everybody's moving but the center. So that wet ball, as the center tries to snap it back, your fingers fly off it, and everybody's moving in sequence, and you're not. And that's a tough 5-yard penalty for the Western Warriors with 6 minutes left.
6 minutes exactly left. 1st and 15 from the 28. Again, we're just talking about miscues. They've got to play a discipline-free, an undisciplined-free, a miscue-free possession here.
And they're going to look over the defense right now. Clock will start on the snap. Wiedeck banging forward. He gets the 5 yards back and a little bit more. Mount Pleasant tried to strip the ball. They may have stripped it out. And yes, they did. First person stands them up. The second one goes for the pigskin and tears it out. And another turnover for the Western Warriors. And that was part of your pregame. The turnovers would be a factor in this game, and Western, I believe that's number 4.
That's 4. It's unfortunate. It's their 4th one plus the punt where they had a chance to flip the field. The ball gets away from the punter. He ends up diving on, not a turnover. It was a turnover on downs when he landed on the ball. But these are killers. The defense is going to be asked to do a lot more right now.
As there's going nothing right there for the ball carrier, number 10, Humphrey. Doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And they had the jailbreak blitz coming that time from Western. They were sending 8.
I don't think they were expecting a pass. I think they just wanted to make sure they were greeting Mr. Humphreys in the backfield upon retrieval of the football.
Well, and I really think that you're not going to see a lot of even potential passes for Mount Pleasant because clock is on their side right now. Field positioning is on their side right now. And they're just looking for that clock to go down. But Mr. McIntyre has a few things up his sleeve, and he's a very confident passer if called upon.
Power sweep.
Fullback up the middle. Breaks free, trying to turn around the corner, and the big chugger gets down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. The first time he's been able to run free tonight in this game, and it's on a huge 2nd and 12.
Jesse Henry has been noted more for his linebacker prowess, but we've talked about it earlier, that giving the ball to the fullback, not necessarily to get the yardage at that point, but that was the reason why. You keep him active, and then when it's time to pop a big one, there he goes. And it was a great play call.
And again, that's going to take probably another 2+ minutes off of the clock. If you're a Western defense, that was a stinker of a play.
If you're a broadcaster, that was a stinker of a play.
And again, the Western jumps to the neutral zone, but not through it. So McIntyre's now going to try and call things. Still no 10 seconds coming up from the back judge. As Davis bangs forward, and he's inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line as they pick up about 4 yards on the play. Western's going to take a timeout right now and try and conserve what clock they can. But the first thing they got to be concerned with is keeping Mount Pleasant out of the end zone. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
All right. Back at Bay County TV, as Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you, Nick Page and Jared Doan down on the other end, trying to keep things in line here. Second down and 6. Power formation to the left. And they give that ball once again to Davis, and he doesn't get a whole lot. He's down to about the 11-yard line. And I think Western's going to take their second timeout, as it will bring up a 3rd and 4 situation. We're going to keep it right here, Jason, as this will be a quick timeout. You know, they call them 60s, but I bet they're more like 45s, as it's just enough to stop the clock.
You know, what I really am impressed with in this particular game is the amount of these guys, the players out there that are going both ways. I mean, we're saying a lot of the same names on both sides of the ball. You know, and you can look at the uniforms of the 11 guys on the field right now for Mount Pleasant, and you can look at the guys that are still in their Mount Pleasant away whites over there on the sideline. And it's not that they didn't get a couple of times or a couple of opportunities. The fact that they have guys that can play, the stamina, the build-up, they bring the prowess, everything that a Mount Pleasant Oiler football player is all about.
And Nick is going to take a look at the Mount Pleasant sideline right now, and virtually everybody over on that sideline has actually got a white recognizable jersey. So that's telling you for Mount Pleasant, too, how many of those players are going both ways, as there's very few dirty jerseys on the sideline.
Amen.
Coming back up to the ball game right now. Big 3rd down and long 3-yard to go situation. Western looks like they're coming on a blitz, so McIntyre backs out. I think Western's still going to come as they try and pitch to the outside. Nice job that time, and I think stopped short of the first down marker was Humphrey. As he tried to make something happen, he's going to be right near that marker. Great job by the head linesman. He calls for the football and puts it right down at that spot that he thinks it should be at. And they are going to take a quick peek at this. It is very, very close.
Well, I think you're going for it either way. It's just going to be a difference if it's going to be 1st and goal or if it's going to be 4th and a half of an inch.
Well, at this point, think about it. You've got a field goal kicker that has kicked a lot during the season. Do you try and kick the field goal? They don't need to worry about it right now because by half the length of a football, they get the first down. But I would say if that was a 4th down situation, I'm going to try a field goal and go up by 2 possessions. That's a pretty high percentage as well.
Well, the high percentage in this half specifically was the sweep. They were able to do a lot of damage with the sweep, and they made a couple of adjustments. Let's my hats off. Tip my hats off to the Mount Pleasant coaching staff. They made the right decisions. Ran a lot of misdirection here in the second half. I thought they kept Western's defense on their toes, and then when they needed to pop something off, they had the ability to pop something off.
See, now they're going to come racing to the line. The back judge has got his hands up, so they do not want to delay a game, but they're playing good clock management. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Western has only 1 timeout left. They're going to use it right now.
And another thing, Mount Pleasant still no turnovers this game. And even putting the ball on the ground even a couple of times on a snap or two, they have not had that opportunity where Western was able to take something away from them.
We're going to take another break, and we'll be back in a moment on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV as we're down to the last 3 and 41 in this ball game. Second down and goal from about the 5-yard line. McIntyre gives that sweep off to Humphrey. He's sniffing the goal line. He's into the end zone. It's a Mount Pleasant Oiler touchdown.
In for his 4th touchdown. And there's something about that sweep that, I'm an old school football guy. That play used to run in the NFL and college. Get that guy ahead of steam, and he has had his way once he gets around. He reads his blockers. He's patient. Does a lot of really good things, and you can see why he came into this game with 12 touchdowns, now 16 on the season.
Yeah, he does a great job of waiting to see where his blocks are as they attempt the extra point. Extra point is up. It's long enough and good. Time out of the field with 3:36 left in the ball game. Western's got to come up with 2 scores. Be back in a minute to see how it all shakes out on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back on BCTV as the Mount Pleasant Oilers get ready to kick off. Western Warriors have got to find magic twice here in the last 3:36 of the ball game. There's a deep end over end kick that's going to be taken by the Western Warriors. Moving the ball up to about the 30-yard line with a fair return. Was that Buck on the return?
Believe it was Robinson.
All right.
And Humphreys with the tackle.
Boy,
have we said his name at all tonight?
Those jerseys, especially for Western with the brownish or the yellow numbers on the dark brown jersey.
That's the Vegas gold right there. That's Vegas gold. That's Purdue. They acted like it was a new color.
And you were talking about what? Some guy named Humphreys being.
Yeah, he just made a tackle, I think.
Tonight. He's run the ball a couple times. I would say he's been a factor in the game.
He's been a huge factor.
O'Hare showing patience, trying to get to the outside, and picks up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. As some of the Western faithful aren't real confident their team could come back from 2, but funnier things have happened in football.
And this field.
Yes.
Specifically.
Boy, and you look at the way that this field has just been chewed up tonight. Western's last regular season game will be next Friday at Bay City Central. So now they're trying to bring Randall to the near side of the field, and he just is not able to. He's taking those chop steps, trying to stay on his feet in the muddiest part of the field. And it is going to be 3rd down now with 2:40 left in the ball game, bringing in a fresh ball. They may be forced to try and put this one up in the air.
Hey, it looked like an option there where he was kind of waiting patiently. I didn't know if I was waiting for somebody to break open, maybe them to Tim Tebowed a little bit over if they were coming up. But
well, that's just counter play, and it's had great success. O'Hare's trying to take that thing to the outside, making a couple of people miss. He dives forward, and boy, they're going to say the knee was down at the 38-yard line. I think the time the knee's down, that ball's in front of the 38-yard line, though. So I think now instead of a 4th down and maybe a length of a football, they've got a full 2 yards to go. So, again, he's got a better angle than I do from the field, but I did not see him squirm forward after that. Wiedike's banging forward. He's going to have the 1st down as he moves the pile forward. And it is going to be enough to move the sticks, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors at their own 46-yard line with $1:47 left in the ball game. And the clock will start ticking now that the chains are moved.
Little sense of urgency. They all looked at their wristwatches or their wristbands, sorry, and get ready for the next play. That didn't.
Logan O'Hare had nowhere to go at that ball. Just kind of dribbled on the ground back to him. And again, the ball's wet and the center's not able to make a good connection as they bring in a fresh and dry ball. And it's still kind of misting out there. Not really raining right now, but enough of a mist that ball is wet. And, you got the evening dew on top of it all.
The evening dew. Meteorologist Jeff Doan will be right back with tomorrow's weather.
Yes, indeed. They're going to pass that ball downfield. And just over the outstretched fingers of the intended wide receiver.
Gage Granson out there tried to do the Odell Beckham Jr. Put the one paw up. Unfortunately, just a little too tough. It's going to be a shot for someone like me out there, with my big paws and my big frame. I might have had a chance.
Well, I know, but I've seen you leap lately, and Lately, you've been to the Bill Lane Beer School of jumping.
Well, we don't necessarily believe in leaving the ground to call it a jump.
If you can get the Bay City phone book under you, it's a leap.
We don't subscribe to that theory.
It's a leap of faith. 3rd down and 9. O'Hare back with time to throw the football. Pump fake. He gets that ball off. And it is complete for what we believe is a first down. And see now, good. He gets to the spot, realizes that he can roll his hands because he did have forward progress. I wasn't real sure they were going to give it to him, but nice job by the line judge racing up to get that spot accurate from where he was hit.
Snap it. The chains are still moving.
Correct. Now the referee with 50 seconds left is going to try and make something happen. Trying to come downfield, going to race forward for what you can get and get out of bounds. Love the way O'Hare just kind of drops it on McIntyre there and says, yeah, you're trying to push me out, or was that number 7? I can't tell from that's Irvin or McIntyre, the defensive back. The numbers are so dirty on the back of the jersey.
This is going to be a Tide commercial when Mount Pleasant gets back tonight off the bus.
Yep, the only people that they'll be happy for the win, but not for the laundry, will be Mama.
The team parent.
Yes, indeed. They're going to be 2nd down and 1 yard to go. Out of bounds, stopping the clock until the snap at 41 ticks left. O'Hare's going to go to the wide side of the field. He's going to be able to turn the corner. He's going to get downfield, and he puts the shoulder down too, and he's going to get out of bounds with 31.5 ticks left in the game. As O'Hare has had a tremendous football game. And, again, the defense thinking they've got the angle of pursuit, and he just turns that corner and gets upfield.
It's nice when the defense is going prevent. It does open up a few more lanes for Logan, to give himself a couple more options out there. You're looking for the pass. He had a wheel route. That wheel route kept taking that defender away from him, and then he just had to get past Davis, which has not been any easy task at all tonight.
Oh, he's going to run up the middle, and there was a whole lot of white there, what used to be white jerseys, and they slammed the door with 22 seconds left. Western very quickly gets back to the line of scrimmage. Mount Pleasant gets to the sidelines in time, and now Western is going to just down the ball to keep the clock from rolling out with 13.9 ticks left. They'll have an opportunity on 3rd down right now, and they're almost forced on this play to throw that ball to the end zone.
They are, and again, when we talk after the game and wrap this game up, it's going to come down to mistakes. Mistakes that were made by Mount Pleasant included a plethora of offsides, false starts that did not hurt them. There are 25 points on the board out of the 5 turnovers that Western has. Mount Pleasant capitalized.
3rd down, 10 yards to go.
Every receiver
going to have to throw that ball deep and hope for the best. The ball picked off, and that will put the wraps on this one with 6.4 ticks left in the game. O'Hare really had no choice but to throw that ball into crowded coverage. It was 2-3 defenders back there surrounding Randall.
Well, when you watch them coming out of their break, there was a lot of slipping on the receivers' end. So, it's not like they were getting full steam or going where they wanted to get to. And by the time that he had to, the defense was able to settle back over there. And now Mount Pleasant can enter the victory formation.
Yeah, this was a tremendous football game tonight. And unfortunately, a team has got to lose, but you tip your hat to that Mount Pleasant team with 2 seconds, 1-0. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in this ball game: the Mount Pleasant Oilers at 8-0, 4-0 in the conference, with a 31-16 victory over the Western Warriors. We'll be back in a moment. We'll put the wraps on this one on Bay County TV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back at the cornfield for our post-game show, sponsored by Frank's Great Outdoors. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. One of your keys in the pregame were the turnovers, and the turnovers were certainly a huge factor in the outcome of this game tonight.
Mount Pleasant took advantage of the turnovers that Western had given them. And I think, that was the one thing we talked about even during the game. If Western's defense could use one thing, it would have been a fumble. It would have been an interception. They didn't put the ball up in the air. They put the ball in the hands of Davis and Humphreys, McIntyre, guys who protected the ball. Really just a couple of unfortunate calls, not unfortunate calls, but unfortunate situations on the kickoff return, on the pass/forward that we thought could have been a forward pass that turned into a fumble. The punt that got kind of muffed and he wasn't able to get a handle on it rather than sweeping the field. But give Mount Pleasant all the credit in the world. They were able to take advantage of that, and that's what good teams do. That's what championship teams do.
Well, I really think the turning point in the game was the ball ruled a fumble that we all thought was an incomplete pass. And Mount Pleasant turned that into points and then regained the momentum. But, again, you can't turn the ball over 4 or 5 times during the game and the muffed punt and expect against an undefeated team to come out with a victory.
25 points off of turnovers, ball game's right there. So you look at the score, 31-16, and again, to the naked eye or to someone who doesn't understand or what they watch, it was a very good football game. You'd love to see them on even terms on a nice field, maybe a 70-degree sunny day. Maybe they'll get an opportunity. But the reality of it is you got to deal with the conditions. And when Coach Willits probably hoped for the rain, wanted the rain, wouldn't have minded the field a little muffed up. But, it ended up costing those guys a little bit. A couple of, just strips, a couple of fumbles, a couple of, mishandles. So all those things add up. But, again, it's what championship teams do. And if Western wants to get to that point, wants to get to that level, and I feel Coach Willits has them on that path, on that track, these are the games that you're not going to be able to turn the ball over. Mount Pleasant, 0 turnovers. Huge.
Well, and right now they sit third in their district. If the season ended today, they'd be playing Midland Dow in a rematch, which would be a fun game for both teams to see how that would all shake out. But, again, when you look at tonight, this still is a very, very good Western football team. They've got a lot to look forward to. The defense made a lot of big plays, but I think that sweep that Mount Pleasant found some success with was a huge play offensively, especially in the second half for Mount P.
Yeah, in the second half, it's power sweep. It's old-fashioned football. It's get your running back going downhill with some speed and with a power blocker. And then what you need back there, more importantly than anything, is you need someone who can read the blocks, read the lanes, and have that patience. And Davis, and especially Humphreys with 4 touchdowns, he really has that. He has that ability to kind of navigate himself through and get to where he wants to get to, which is obviously the end zone. But he has a way to do it where it's not the same cut every time. He's able to figure out where the defense is at and where he wants to go. He cut it back across the grain a couple of times.
Well, next week we've got Bay City Central and Western going to be banging heads in that traditional season-ending rivalry.
Firefighter? Is that the fire? What do they play for? The firefighter something.
Yep. There you go, the firefighter something. But, again, Jason, another great job tonight. Glad to have you on board. Nick Page, another great job. Jared, he was here trying to oversee the project tonight, but he was under the great tutelage of Nick.
When he's watching over us, we know it's a double duty for him.
That puts the final wraps on our show tonight in our Frank's Great Outdoors post-game show. Have a great night, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon.